Gonna be perfect right now.
What about my sweat equity?
Be perfect, Mark.
Sweat equity. Sweat equity. My sweat equity.
Permian power.
My sweat equity. What about my sweat equity?
One of my
That intro.
direct subordinates, one of my guys that worked for me.
Oh, we're
he
gonna go
would-
right into
he would
Jocko.
call me
Go
up
it.
or pull me aside with some major
is
problem,
Jocko
some
Willink.
issue that was going on.
Willink.
And he'd say, boss, we got this and that and the other thing. And I'd look at him and I'd say, good. And finally, one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem. And he said, I already know what you're going to say. And I said, well, what am I going to say? He said, you're going to say good. He said, that's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say good. And I said, well, yeah. When things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted?
Standing up.
Good. Didn't get promoted? Good.
Good.
More time to get better. Oh, mission got canceled? Good.
Good.
Focus on
Good.
that. Didn't get funded. Didn't get the job you wanted. Injured. Sprained my ankle. Got tapped out? Good.
Good.
Got beat? Good. You learned. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out
Be
a
my
solution.
intro song. At bat.
That's it. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out. Don't get startled. Don't
Bummed
get
out.
frustrated. If you can say the word good,
Good.
guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well, now you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
I flipped my boner under my shorts.
Can't
Elastic
hide that
part.
boner. Woo! You want
Sorry.
to fight?
Sorry
wanna
for.
wrestle?
I had to stand up. I can't sit down listening to that.
No, I know. Gets me amped.
Sorry, John Paul behind the glass producing the show. Shout out to Tampaniac.
Giving us a wonky eye. We told you we were gonna play it.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. I
That's
thought
like-
that was good.
I stood up like
Good.
almost like it was the national anthem. I couldn't help it.
I'm gonna start listening to it every
Or
day.
Pledge of Allegiance. I mean, whatever, same thing.
I love it.
Yeah, like it's corny. It's corny to like motivation memes and quotes,
Yeah, but not when they're like that.
but that like if you do get really kind of like you're in that right now. A lot of people are in that stage where if you're a kid, you just came back from spring break and you're a total sack of shit, and you got no motivation. If you're a little bit older, you're a working professional. You probably did your New Year's resolution is 90% are gone. I think
Yeah.
by
Those are
by
done.
February.
Yeah.
I heard
You're beaten down.
and you need that.
Good.
Sometimes you need that like corny like I need something to fire me up.
I don't find that corny. I like how he's kind of a dick.
Oh, I'm just going into it now. Like
Yeah.
I'm just leaning into it. I don't care if it's corny or not.
Oh, I mean, if
what
it,
else? What, have, what,
if it works, I don't
what-
think it's corny.
what do I have to lose?
Right.
As far as I'm a dad boner, so it's like, who cares?
Dad boner,
Yeah.
good. I need to get that. Just
Someone
good.
call.
five
My,
times over.
I mean, like that is the way. If you really want to break it down, it's stoicism philosophy. It's in business. You have to deal with this stuff all the time. Whatever you're avoiding, whatever that thing you're not good at, as a business owner or maybe a key player in a startup or a small business, maybe you're not making all the decisions. But usually, here's what's really fucked up in a lot of small businesses is because you're the capable person,
Right.
you get the most stuff to do.
Yeah.
You get more stuff because everybody else isn't like reliable.
right.
which is
Or you
almost-
want to do it because you know how to do it good.
Well, that's a different thing though. I'm
No?
saying you get handed a lot of stuff because you're proficient
Oh
and
yeah.
you're good.
Oh, they'll knock it out real quick.
Right, they'll do it so you get hit, like it's a weird it's never realized a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So the other way is true too, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying like there's an alpha part of that where you just do it as a manager because you don't trust anybody else to do it. But that's bad on you.
No, I know what
because
you're
you
saying
hired
now.
poorly and you train poorly and you can't teach these tasks you can't teach those tasks to do it.
Right.
You didn't make a playbook, as we call it. But the other way is that thing of like, when you're in a small business and you're kind of like, you're the Leslie Knope, organized, on time, get shit done, like gold star. If you were in school, you'd be the student everybody in the class kind of hates.
Right.
You're A+, but you're also polite, and punctual,
Yeah.
and like make brownies and shit for everybody in the office.
Yeah.
Like you're that person.
This is perfect.
You don't get a break, you get more. And
Right.
there's two ways to look at it. You can bitch about it, and then that'll create your own internal spiral or resentment that you don't even realize. Or you do it this way, where there's a book from Ryan Holiday, not the first baseman, or not the pitcher, excuse me.
I don't know what you're thinking of. Roy Halladay.
I've just mixed two guys. Who was the
Matt
first baseman?
Holiday.
Who's the first baseman for the Phillies?
for the Phillies?
Back in the like a couple years ago, big guy, big home run hitter.
Oh, you're thinking of Ryan. What's
Howard.
his Howard?
Sorry, I mixed up my guys. Ryan Howard.
Matt Holiday was an outfielder, also.
Yeah, I mixed up three guys. So,
Let's make sure we got all the things you fucked up right.
well, I fucked them all up because I'm talking about an author that has the name of one of them.
Right. Okay.
He has a book called The Obstacle is the Way. And I heard an interview with him like 5 years ago, and it kind of changed the way I kind of look at a lot of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Stoicism philosophy. You go through it. You don't go around it. You don't go, I'll make time for that. You go through it. And it's about avoiding avoidance.
Yeah. There's something freeing to that, just addressing something head on. I mean, it goes to anything, like it's like eating shrooms. It's like sometimes I'm going to cry when I eat mushrooms. And it's like, oh, I'm getting forced to face whatever it is I'm facing right now. Whereas in real life, maybe I should just face it not on mushrooms. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, that's like the ice bath stuff.
Right.
You do. That you're kind of shocking your system, but mentally.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people have a life that they can pretty much push away almost any sort of discomfort, I can if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I could, be perfectly fine, but I know that I will be depressed if I don't get an ice bath or if I don't have something where I overcome saying I don't want to do it. Even if it's just finishing your shower cold. That I don't ever like doing it. But I do it, and then I'm like, okay, I did that one thing I didn't want to do today.
Don't
Good.
negotiate with yourself.
Exactly.
I almost just did it right before we started the podcast. I was like, okay, I think we got about 20 minutes. That's not enough time for a workout. And then I was like, fuck that. Just do like 10 minutes if you can get it in.
Yeah.
And my back's fucked up too, and I was making an excuse there. And I was like, don't do that.
Right.
Just go right into it.
Yeah.
My back already feels better.
Yeah.
I only worked out for 11 minutes in the other room, like a psycho in our office. But
Yeah.
but it's one of those things. It's like, I'm going to be here all day. I got to get these little workouts in. I don't want to.
Yeah.
But I know it's way better for me. And then what it does is it has a compounding factor. After you get used to it, after you go, oh, I've done
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
That ain't shit.
Yeah.
My next move, you'll be proud. Jump in. I'm at a big apartment complex. The pool's still really cold there.
Yeah,
I just
do it.
I forget we have a pool because
I
I
know.
just don't do anything.
When it gets cold out, it's cold enough.
And yeah, oh yeah, it's not going to be warm until the summer here. Even though it's already 80 degrees during the day. But,
Yeah.
like the water's still cold in that pool. I'm just going to go in the morning like a weirdo
Yeah, do it.
at 7 a.m.
Even if
I
it's
can.
only 70 degrees, you're not used to it.
Right.
That's going to do what it needs to do.
Dude.
It's going to shock your body.
And then it has a
You're
whole.
not going to want to do it.
It's like a shoehorn of like 5 stories of apartments that look over into this. So I guarantee there's going to be like someone's going to be like, oh, you're that guy that just goes in the pool for 2 minutes.
Screeches like a girl and gets out 10
yeah.
seconds later.
and
Nah,
then,
You'll just work your way up.
and then murmurs shrinkage to himself on the way out.
Normally bigger, I
And then gets mad at himself for not bringing a towel. because that's something I'd probably do.
Yeah, that is totally something you would do.
That's a Florida thing, I think. Just nice. There's that boner
Sending
hitting the wall noise.
Boing.
You want to
Anyways.
hit it again?
Nope. I'm not giving you the satisfaction.
Like today, I'm gonna do taxes, and I fucking hate it.
Ugh.
I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna finish it. I kept putting it off. I should have broken it up into chunks, and I let
I
things
was
get.
just gonna say, should you be saying, "I'm gonna do it all"?
Yeah, all today.
Yeah, but I feel like that's something where you make it too big
No. Well, I have to now. So I mean,
legally, I guess.
let's
Yes.
look at this way. This is pretty. I've been doing the extension every year, and that's bad. It's a bad habit. It doesn't matter if you want to look at taxes as the United States takes a loan out from the American people.
Yeah. I mean,
You ever seen that?
my accountant, he does extension for everybody automatically.
Right. I mean, it might be better because there's no penalty. So
Oh. And the longer you can hold on to your own money, the better.
I don't know. I just want to get it to my guy before April 15th, or like way before April. Let's say April 5th. I want to get it to him just for me, right?
Yeah.
Because that's my thing. I got to go through the obstacle,
Yeah.
right?
It's a nice, easy obstacle. You don't build it up too high.
No, but it's really not that bad. It's just boring. There's March Madness on all day. I can have that on in the background, kind of flippantly, kind of checking in on that.
Yeah. Set yourself up.
It's just a lot of just sitting there with a spreadsheet and doing it. So, not a big deal.
Yeah.
Uh,
You'll do it. You'll knock it out.
I will. I've done it.
I've got
I've done
faith.
it before. I've done it in like one night when I've had to. I'd be like, well, today's the day. I got to do it.
Yeah, you had your
I'll be
hair was like out to here. Like, yeah, afro, and it was weird.
Yeah. That's like
you were
weird
useless
science.
for a week.
Yeah. But yeah, pulling an all-nighter at this age is not, I can't do it really.
Yeah. Well, all-nighters mean just like 4 hours of sleep.
No. When I say all-nighter, because I don't go to sleep very well. All right. So.
What are you doing? Otter.ai over there? You playing on your
No.
phone?
I'm bringing up the next thing. I was going to, unless you got something else.
No, I don't know what your next thing is. What were you going to do?
So, friend of the program on last episode, Melissa Golden, we're trying to get her to do she's a science nerd, and but speaks.
They're called scientists.
She's not a scientist. I don't think I technically can call her that. She's getting her PhD now.
You don't have to be a doctor to be a scientist, do you?
No,
I consider
but
myself a scientist.
she corrected me. She's the director of a stem cell business. I don't know. I don't think I can technically call her a scientist or something like that.
Okay. I don't think
This
scientist
will be
is
great
a
if she
official.
listens to this, and the next time I see her.
She's going to be like, of course I'm a scientist.
Well, let's put it this way: she knows more about science than probably most scientists I know. And she is so eloquent on the mic, so good. The first time we had her on, I was like, "You got to do your own podcast out of here."
Yeah, she should. I mean, there's a lot to talk about with stem cells, and it's only going to expand, and she can talk about it, so do it.
we need to get a drop of John Paul. What do them stuff do?
What does the stem cell lady do's?
He doesn't find that funny.
He'll laugh in about 10 seconds. He's not even messing around. All right, whatever.
But she texted me last night. I was working in here at Tocobaga.
In
doing
the nude?
I was Winnie the Pooh naked.
Shirt only?
on.
Yeah. It's good.
Pants
That's the
off.
most alarming for a grown man to be in.
Well,
most alarming position.
no one was here. It's Saturday night. I just trimmed my guys.
Saturday night in Ybor. This place is like a graveyard, totally.
Ybor's like the Bourbon Street of Tampa for those outside the area. So it's kind of there's a lot of commotion outside. Let's say.
It was just a lot of the your cutout shadow, like in Home Alone.
Well, wait. Now I don't want this to sound like my pants were off and I was texting with Melissa because if
Oh,
her
yeah.
fiance listens, he looks like
this is just me
Laurent
making fun of-
Landry
Yeah,
on roids.
that's who it was.
I figured it out. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. I was like,
you were
his
Googling
biceps are so
shirtless men.
fucking big, he can't brush his teeth. Shout out to Larry Legend. I've never met him, but sounds like a great guy. So Melissa said, "Do you have any creative names for this science podcast?"
Oh boy, let me get my
Get the crickets
soundboard
ready.
fired up.
Let's go over just brand naming in general.
Okay, it's ready.
We do this. We talk
Warmed
about
up.
with a lot of clients. We do a lot of immature businesses under 5 years old.
Yeah.
That's majority of our wheelhouse
The
now.
businesses are, not the people.
Yeah, I kind of wish they were under 5 years old because they might listen a little bit more. But I would say 5 years is that cutoff for those listening.
Yeah,
to where you're legit.
Yeah,
we're 4 years old here.
You can fake it for 4.5 years.
I'm proud of this place being 4 years old. 4 years old, just about 4 years old.
No, it's older than 4.
Yeah,
it's your birthday.
No, it's 4.
Oh, okay,
that was our 2 year. Wait.
No, it was 3.
That was 3 years.
Doesn't matter. Who cares?
Whatever. I'll figure it out.
We'll always be an immature business.
Immature. My thing is always like,
can I do that?
Urkel.
Nice. You've been adding drops.
That's been on there since I installed the app.
Well, I told Melissa you've got a sense of humor that likes our immaturity. She's not wheeling out the jokes.
She's faking it pretty good.
No, she's not. We're trying to work out to where she's a client of ours, so we're in the proposal stage. So we've been spending a lot of strategy kind of sessions working on stuff. So I told her, like, look, our brand message is kind of like the podcast. It's how we talk. We can be professional and kind of like immature, jokey in the same kind of sentence a lot of the time.
Stoic philosophy-wise, we don't take things too seriously.
Right. We could talk about stoicism philosophy and the Apple sound effect where your boner hits the wall, like in the same thought.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That is because I think dick jokes are the great like equalizer.
Yeah. Well, I'd say fart jokes because those don't even have a language barrier. Just a fart noise, which I actually don't have any farts
we don't.
on
I mean,
here
we don't need to get.
anymore.
We don't have to. Well, I would say dicks.
We don't have to.
I would
maybe
say dicks
do.
because it's a little bit more taboo.
Yeah.
And so when my dads hate listening to this, hi Dad, that
hey Mr.
and he's like, why do you have to talk about this stuff? After I explained to him, you've been to my shows a bunch of times.
Right.
I go, I really wanted to say like, it's the great like, it makes it humble. I think in a weird way, it kind of washes out all the formality.
Yeah.
And
it does. It takes the barrier down.
How do I know this? When I talk with clients and then they find out I do stand up, they let their guard down, and I get way more information. I get the information that would have taken 3 meetings. I get it that first meeting.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because they're like,
you're vulnerable.
No, they know I've been around fucking weirdos and basically circus freaks of comedians and comedy clubs and like.
So they're the normals,
right? But it's almost they almost I think see it as an advantage in their head of like being more proper, in a way. That like, oh, this guy.
I'm not going to top that story he told me, sort of thing.
Well, then they go, well, you're not very funny. You haven't been funny the whole time.
You're a stand-up comic.
And I'm like, you don't want to hire. You're not hiring me for comedy. You're hiring me for fucking results.
You don't do like a tight 5 for him.
Sloppy
5.
I tried that once, and I was like, okay, here you go. And then it was like, oh, why did I do that? I fucking hate myself.
Don't volunteer.
When you don't do stand up after doing it for a while, you're like, I need this. And this is when the podcast was in flux, and I was doing it solo. Anyway, so
times are tough.
Here's brand naming. So you got to ask a couple of things. You got to go. If for a podcast is different than a business, but I just go, what are you going to talk about? What can you talk about without any guest and solo for an hour? What do you think you could talk about? So just like kind of think about that in the process.
We're talking about naming a podcast specifically.
Yeah, and for a business, it's a lot of similar rules. So I just kind of wrote, here are my short rules for names. 2 to 4 syllables.
Right. Okay.
When read, like if you're reading it, scrolling through it, makes sense.
Yeah, it's got to be obvious.
Don't be confusing.
Right. That happens all the time.
A lot.
People are like, no, it's obvious. And it's like the guy who owns the business came up with it. And it's like, well, you've been sitting on this for 6 months.
It's called turducken. Why don't you get that?
Yeah, it's like, dude, okay. If I don't get it right away, then it's not obvious. It's not enough. I'm not trying to be offensive to you.
It's a chicken and a duck and a turkey. What? Yeah. What? It's a Florida
I just
delicacy.
kept shoving them up each other's asses, and look what I got. Rich.
So when read makes sense. Easy to spell.
Mm-hmm.
Like these are all like kind of guidelines. Not you have to hit all this criteria 100%.
Yeah.
When said out loud, it's memorable enough. That's the big one.
Yeah.
Okay, the people write these down, they think of names, and then they never go, if you're at a cocktail party, and I go, what's your name? Eric? Oh, and you go, what do you do? And I go, oh, well, I have this company called Turducken. And you're like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And like that might actually have sticking power. But if I told you it was
I didn't know where you're going with it. I was like, I would remember that.
Well, I'm trying to think of something just like
I own All Pro Plumbing.
Right, exactly, yes.
Oh, really? I will
We're all
forget that.
pros.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's generic as shit.
Right.
Unless you're really going for that.
Yeah.
But most people are not. They
Yeah,
just
it's
go,
not the 1950s where there's a phone book and you need to name it AAAA so you're at the front of the phone book. It's, like, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, I've heard someone make that call for searching, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter anymore.
So here's another one. So you have to test these out loud to someone, like first. Say it out loud to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do that role play. Like when I talk about a lot of business strategy for anything retail, even office, I want to know what your office layout is. I want to know what if I come to your office, is there a receptionist that takes, sit there? Or is it just you?
Know the workflow.
I want to know the CX, the client or customer experience.
Right.
And for retail, I want to know the flow chart. I want to know the flow of how you would want someone to go through your security TSA almost.
Yeah.
Like
this is to name the business?
I want to know, but this
Or
is
you're
more of
talking
a
about
business.
Get an idea of operations. If you're coming
Yeah.
up with the name, it might help.
I want to back out into Shrooms area. Who
Okay.
are we?
All right.
What are we about?
I'm there.
And then I want to go back in, right?
Okay.
So macro and then back to micro.
Mm-hmm.
So when you tell someone the name of your podcast, it's not embarrassing to tell them.
Yeah. Exactly.
So one name is I Like Guys We Fucked. I think that's a great podcast.
It is, yeah. But you tell me about it, I'm like, I'm not listening to that.
But they
can't
even they admit they have problems telling people that name sometimes, especially when they're doing like
like the business side of it, of like
Well, right.
trying to sell advertising.
on iTunes they have to put Guys We F
Star.
yeah. Asterisk 5 times or something, and then as indelible as possible, meaning as unique as you can. So what I want you to do is I want you to, whatever names, throw spaghetti at the wall. And then I want you to see if there's any other podcasts that have the same name.
And there probably is.
And there's a good chance there is because there's 200,000 podcasts, I think, out there. And so...
it is crazy that we did get Sweat Equity podcast.
yeah, and
I mean, you've been doing it for a while.
But the other side of that coin is I didn't think about the scalability from the get-go, and there's a TLC show called Sweat Equity.
That's okay.
That's fine. It's done with.
We own
It's
the
over.
copyright, bro.
Yeah, we own the copyright for Sweat Equity things.
Sweat Equity
your,
podcast.
Your Sweat Equity into it.
Yes. Exactly.
So those are kind of some guidelines. Those aren't all my guidelines. I need to write this up into like a formal blog post, but I would say that is as like criteria to think about that no one really thinks about.
Yeah. To piggyback on it, website naming.
Same thing.
I've talked to you about like my
Domains.
wife's website. Before we bought Forest Hills Dental, she had her own website, drmorgani.com.
Right.
I had email set up for that, and it's like, I'm having to spell this every time now. Eric at DRM, because if I say Dr. Morgani, they'll spell out DOCTO, and that's not it.
Yep.
So these are all like these little things that, man, it's like, I could have just so easily changed this.
Right.
So now I'm working to get everything moved to foresthills.dental so that I can say it to somebody. They remember it. Boom. That's easy, and go from there.
What would your email handle be? At foresthillsdental.com?
At foresthills.dental.
Man, no one's going to know. No one's
Why not?
Because your audience, especially, they're all older too, right? Like a lot of them.
Yeah, but they're not gonna. Then
They don't know .dental.
If you tell it,
They're
going
to put .com in. They're going to put at foresthills.com.
Well, good thing I haven't changed it. Then
I'm saying the email can be different from the domain because, like, if you go to Tocobaga, it's TOCOBA.GA.
Yeah.
Instead of Toco Works, because that was confusing because people would autocorrect in their brain to Taco Works. But our email handles are still Toco Works, just because it's easier to kind of say that.
Yeah. It's separate then in terms of
You know what I'm
the
saying?
email thing. and
Those
then
are
the
tough
website
because there's
itself.
a technical kind of math creativity to that with
Yeah.
domains and emails.
Yeah.
That I would say that's part of that research if you're worried about that, right? If you're worried about getting a good email or domain, then email too, as you're building up a podcast. Most people don't, though.
No, yeah, but hey, if you're starting a podcast, might as well get a website going for it. Have it all on there like we do.
Well, I throw this into if her companies are going to be clients of ours, I kind of throw this in as extra credit because it's separate from that client work, but it's going to help those two as well as content. So I would say, so then I kind of break down which way do you want to go with the name? Do you want to go direct like Guys We Fuck, or This American Life, Small Town Murders, Andy Signor's podcast that was in here?
Mm-hmm.
It's called
Nerd Wars.
Nerd Wars. Okay.
On the nose.
Yeah. You know what it is. You don't need to know who's in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know the exact thing, what it is.
It got heated in here.
We had 8 people in this room at one point.
Yeah.
And
A lot of nerds, man.
until we get our dick table set up, which I'm kind of fired up to do it.
Yeah. Bring it in here, nice and veiny.
Well, I even said like we can get the Ethernet wires to go down like veins to.
Do you have any like bigger ones?
But never bring it up if someone comes in. They go,
Yeah.
this looks like a dick, and you're like, oh my god.
Oh my god! Are you
Like,
kidding me?
Every time.
Can't believe we didn't think of it.
So I want a table where it's just a normal table. The shaft can fit 8 people on it, right? And then we have 3 pub tables that are circles.
Okay.
That can go can lead like a table leaf
Yeah.
can hook on the bottom, and it creates a.
And you've got detachable balls.
But we'll just say the 2 balls are for us
right.
as like our show, right? Like we need a space each,
Yeah.
and then the head of it would just be like where the camera goes.
Yeah.
And then we go. I totally missed that.
Down towards the shaft, please.
How did I miss that?
Yeah. Play stupid every
I think
time.
it'd be so funny to do that.
Yeah.
And then what's it called?
I'm really excited now.
But actually make it multi-purpose. So we can do Nerd Wars. They can use it as a panel, twist it sideways,
We can get some kind of drink
Uplift.
dispenser on the end.
use uplift desk,
Yep.
and then everything's on those uplifts.
Yeah.
So we have multiple uses. So the balls can go to the side and be used as drink tables. They can be used as like almost like a late night show where the announcer has his own thing off to the side.
Yeah.
If you have that
Where
many
the
people
band plays.
Right,
The
like-
Roots.
I want to make this as multi-purpose as possible. We can do a party in here. It's not a big pain in the ass to move everything.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot going on.
Hey, Law.
what?
So back to what the stem cell lady wants.
Mhm. Are you trying to
Is
curve the
it
show?
more important, really, for you to want to go viral or to be professional? Because it comes down to exposure and like how many people are going to hear you and come to visit your site. And if being viral gets you the most links or follows, then isn't that better?
For her and us, it's kind of like I don't want to. We could do something crazy and zany to fucking sell out and
Yeah.
get that. I don't think I could keep that up, right? Like,
Well,
if you do that, you do that.
Yeah,
all the
well,
time.
exactly. With podcasting, though, like, you're more likely to gain an audience if it's specific. You know, they have the radio in the morning if they want to listen to, which celebrity got married or whatever. But if, they're going to be having somebody come on, learning about stem cells, like you're seeking that out anyways. So I
Or
don't know.
science in
I'm of the
general.
opinion that it's like, do your show good, get it all down straight,
Yeah.
and you're never going to get it to the point where you're happy if you're any good at it. It's like,
We're not a huge podcast yet, but I really like that we have a high quality kind of audience. I'd rather have
Right.
100 high quality. It's not our numbers, but I'd rather have, let's say, 10 high quality listeners that are like really into it than
Yeah.
100 kind of casual.
right, that are fleeting.
Right. Because
We take those too, but
we want to get that too. You really want to hit both, honestly. John Taffer, I heard him talk about a bar and the kind of percentages you want in there. You want 20% regulars and you want 80% general, just kind of coming in and out.
it's amazing. He wants 20% regulars at a bar.
Yeah, because they're the anchor and the bad nights, but you want to cultivate that 20% to be advocates.
Yeah.
So you want that, like the 20% isn't just guys that sit and take a bar stool and drink 3 beers every night, because that bar stool costs
They're
20
bringing their
grand.
buddies.
Right. They're the kind of people that go there regularly. They're treated well, so they tell other people to go there. They're connectors in the area kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I feel about, like, if we have a strategy, a formal one, I would say that's kind of it. For her, she's going to shade on probably a little bit more professional, because like us, it's a little bit of an uphill battle to go, oh, I don't know who these people are, and do they know what the fuck they're talking about? Which I have a chip on my shoulder at all times, so that's why I'm constantly researching, because I know I look like the
That's why you're
least-
not allowed at the library anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, too many chips. But like, I know I look like a mixture of Spicoli and the lead singer of Creed when I walk into a meeting room.
It's true.
And
If you want
so,
to look it up.
in a way, I'm aware that I almost start off in a hole, like looks wise, and that kind of helped with this too.
Are you talking about going into the library and not getting looked at sideways? When,
I'm
when
talking about-
when are your looks coming into being a problem?
When I meet with a new client,
Oh, okay.
like if I meet with an attorney, so a super professional as we call it, like
Look how professional,
White
serious
collar.
I am.
white collar.
Okay.
You should just go with it then, and
I do.
be that viral guy, that marketing team guy. Because I think it's about if the most people you can reach is the most important thing.
Sorry, were you saying something?
Wait, but
Yeah, no, I was thinking about it. I'm taking over the camera angle now, boy.
whoa.
No, listen, look.
Put your
I was thinking
headphones
about it
back
the way
on.
Here today is that you've been able to create social media like people that have just blown up within 6 months by just creating this content that's always regular, and they're always have the same agenda, but they're being consistent. So if you're doing that with viral marketing, I think that's the way to do it. And why can't you make a brand go viral?
Well, first thing, hold on. We've got more than 2 minutes, right? Just a little bit. But
Just
here's the
real quick.
thing. You can't make something viral. Like, that's like almost an impossible task.
Yeah, setting out for it to be viral is just like
That almost is
that's
like,
cheesy.
this is going to, like, back, like, I remember that being a thing like 8 years ago. It's like, can you make a viral video? And you're like, make us a viral video. It's
Yeah.
like,
If
no.
I could, I would do it for me.
Right. I would
Leave you
I
in
would
the
have
dust.
it. I wouldn't be in
Why-
this room.
Yeah, why would we? Yeah.
Viral's a stupid word,
Yes.
but I just mean reaching the most people.
We're working on it. It's a budget thing too. Like, if we're really trying to do it, we have to. To me, we do it as all-in-one integrated cross-platform marketing, like we should with our clients. We do it with our clients, and so you do it kind of all in or not at all.
Yeah.
In a way, like I just got our email blast going again. Like, that's fucking retarded that I haven't done that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna run down these
Jump Ball,
names
don't
because
be-
we got our next guest.
There's people behind you, Jump Ball. Don't look
All right.
out.
I said I'll go through these real quick. You can go witty, you can go pun, dad joke adjacent, like Against All Odds, betting podcast, or Advice City, which will be our rollout for our next
Any day
show.
now. Any day.
We got to work on the tech part of it. You can go clever inside joke,
I heard that.
like the dollop, time suck, your mom's house,
Yeah.
or you can go like us, which I think is the best way to go for her, which is like sweat equity. It's a term everybody knows, but it is related to the industry of what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So like sweat equity, work smarter, not harder is the solo one I need to start doing. Sword and scale, reasonable doubt, tinfoil hat, all those kind. All right, so ready for some?
Oh, I thought. Okay.
Here's some names I came up with a little toasty last night as I
Okay.
walked home. Double helixer,
Go ahead.
the double deuce helix,
Mm-hmm.
timely reference. This one's going to be great for a professional weed podcast. I didn't even say it.
Just checking. Make sure it's working.
Hypothesis.
Hypotenuse.
Hypothesis. Spelled HIGH.
Yep.
Like a scientific weed podcast.
Yep. I got it.
God damn it.
How many more?
Why don't even try it?
How many more?
4. This one I think is the winner in the clubhouse for her. Placebo. Not a joke. Just I think that's just a good name.
Mm-hmm.
Litmus test. If you had kind of more of a podcast where it is about challenging something,
Mm-hmm.
and then let's see, scientific as fuck or scientific AF.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that is a fad of a term,
Mm-hmm.
like saying it's lit
Yeah.
or I'm woke or something.
Yeah. That could go away.
Man, I'm so woke. And then the last one, this would be great for a scientific storytelling podcast, periodic fable.
Someone say vasectomy?
Thank you.
All right.
Tip your waitresses.
Okay, everybody. That was good.
What about my sweat equity?
Pretty good.
Check out the
This
new-
is free
the new
podcast.
Yeah, that's true. This is free.
I wrote jokes
Free
for
name.
free, guys.
Check out sweatequitypod.com.
What about my sweat equity?
Yeah, yeah.